This is Tea with Botha.
Welcome to another riveting episode of Tea with Botha. If you remember a while back, we had a discussion with Khomotso Malchai, who focused on children living with neurodiversity. She spoke at length about the challenges, but one thing that was missing was about fathers. It is always assumed that fathers are reckless, fathers are absent, both emotionally and physically. But today we are joined by a father whose vision has been to make sure that fathers are not only physically present, especially those that have children that are living with neurodiversity. He has made it his mission to ensure that if fathers get involved in effecting policy at all levels, ensuring that fathers are not just ATMs, but fathers are emotionally available for their children who have special needs. As I said earlier, of making sure that they are part and parcel of their upbringing. And we are having someone who has formed, together with other men, an organization, the Hotas, that focuses on working with fathers of children with neurodiversity. Please help me to welcome Paseka to unpack and tell us why him, and what motivated him. What are the reasons? So please assist me in welcoming Paseka. Welcome to Tea with Botha.
No, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming late in time. Yours is a personal journey. Tell us more. Who is Paseka and why the involvement with Luhuta, with fathers of children with neurodiversity?
Okay. So, my journey is not an easy one to explain in detail, but I was just a boy who comes from Velkom in Free State, and I was raised by my mother. My parents divorced when I was 3 years old, so I don't know the warmth of being raised by both parents. Luckily, my mother did everything in her power to make sure that I'm the man that I am today. So, at some point when I finished school, I came to Joburg to start looking for a job. Like most of us do from the Free State, you come to Gauteng to look for a job. And I met the lovely lady that I met, the mother of my children. Her name is Winnie. We were just having fun as small children because I was only 21, she was 20. And then we so happened to have a child. And I can say at that point, you don't think of anything. The only thing you are thinking about is the joy of having a child yourself, to be a father one day. So it has always been at the back of my mind to say, I never grew up in a family of two parents. So I'm going to make sure that I stay with my partner to raise this child to feel the wonderful warmth of having both parents. And everything went well. But at the age of 3, my son was showing all the signs of growth. Luckily, he had a cousin of his same age, and I could actually compare the two in terms of their growth, their development, and everything else. However, I think at the age of 4 and 5, then my son started to regress. That's when we started seeing certain signs that there's something that is not adding up with this personal development. So then, us, we black people, we always thinking what's happening. It was a tough time for both families. We started thinking about which doctor we need to go to. Everyone was coming with their own opinion.
Without one over.
Yeah, no, ba mo shapile ga re ai ha re lo bona na ke mang a kgona go thusa a re checkele ngwana, and ka Sotho batswadi ba o gaela ba re ha re lo consult ha re lo sheba. I get on so we always been told, no, we'll take the son to the doctor, we'll take to the specialist and all those things. And for me at that time, financially, I was not doing well. So there were certain things I couldn't afford to do. But we did consult with the ancestors. You know how we do things.
You went to your store.
Yeah, we went
to
not just one, we went to a few to check. the mother's side did what they could. My parents also tried, and we all tried to see what is wrong, but there was no sign in terms of what is happening. Luckily, some of us love reading and we love doing research. So I did some research. I was reading a lot, and that's when we realized that the signs are those of autism. The one amazing thing was that we didn't know what is autism. Coming from a black family, there were certain things that we never cared about. But now here's a child showing signs of what is being called as autism. So we started to study more about autism, and we took the child to Vetkopen Clinic in 4 ways, where we were referred to Raima Musa, where we did some tests. And unfortunately, it was around those times when autism was not so famous, so well known like it is now. So I think our system at that time was not geared up to manage some of the challenges that us as parents were facing. It was very hard. I will tell you, it was very hard. I was one of those entry-level earners in the call center around those times. So my medical aid couldn't cover anything. We went to public facilities, and I have to say, I don't feel like we got helped.
When you say public facilities, you mean clinics?
Clinics and hospitals. We went to Raima Musa, which is I think it's for mother and child hospital. Yeah. So it was taking too long. At that time, you would get an appointment 6 months later. They would see your child. At times, they got impatient because my son, unfortunately, at that time, it was autism and ADHD. So he was hyper. He didn't want to be touched, nothing. So at some point, they needed to check the functionality of the brain, and they put some of the things there, and he was feeling irritated and was moving around. And they just said, you know what, let's book him from the next appointment. They said, we'll see him in the next 6 months. I think we went around March, and they said, we'll see him in September.
By the way, how old was he?
At that time, he was 6.
6 years.
6 years, yes.
Ready to go to school?
Ready to go to school. And it was due to that desperation as well to say, the cousin is going to school next year. This one is not going to school. So we need to do everything quick. Because, you give your son those books to read, certain things to, and you can see it's very sharp. And we're thinking, okay, the issue right now is speech. So maybe we can take him to a normal school, and hopefully they won't bother him. We'll sit at the back. He will just pass and come back home. But we know kids out there are not educated enough to understand some of our kids' conditions. So I thought, no, it was going to be a cool environment for us to take him to. So we needed to get a diagnosis to take him to a school, which is a special school for kids like him, for kids with autism. However, this 6 months thing was bothering a lot of us. Luckily, I called one of my friends in Free State. So the mother happens to be a manager at a clinic in Mahlatsu, it's Excelsior. So the lady said, no, bring the child here. Currently, the government has invested in some of the psychiatrists and pediatricians that are actually still in school, and they are doing practicals here. Maybe they can actually take your child's case as one of those special cases, because we don't have anyone with autism here. Yes, we took the opportunity. First thing, I think January, we took my son there. The very next day was 7 now. He's already lost out on a year of schooling. 7 years, we took him to Excelsior. We get there. My mother gets excited to say, you know what? I spoke to one of the ladies that owns a crèche. Because it's a small community, everybody knows who. So the lady that owns the crèche was married to my ex-primary school teacher. So they were excited that one of their students is going to benefit from one of the initiatives that they came up with, which is opening a early childhood development place. My son went there, school bag and everything. I called my mom. I said, you know what? I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to feel like I don't appreciate what you're trying to achieve. But they won't survive with him in that crèche. He was already told to leave a crèche in Joburg because of some of his traits that cannot be understood or cannot be accommodated in a place like that. So what we did is that my mother was like, no, I already spoke to them. Remember, they know you, they love you, so they will understand. Then the boy went to school. While in school, I think he was there for 2 weeks. And one day my mother was fetching him from school, and they said, no, please, he mustn't come back.
After 2 weeks?
After 2 weeks, no. My mother was very hurt. You can imagine a girl like that.
You say, well,
So then they gave her a breakdown to say these are the challenges.
go ahead.
Yeah, they said, you know what? We have a program at school. So we know at this time the kids are going to sleep. At this time they are playing. But your grandson is something different. When other kids need to sleep, then he will start waking them up, waking all over them. Remember, the teacher at the crèche want to relax at some point, to rest from all the hard work of running behind after our kids and everything. So here's this boy that's waking up all the kids. He wants them to go play outside. So you're saying we can't handle this energy. He needs to go to a special place that understands children like him.
Mm.
And from my side, I understood very well that he's in an environment of people that don't understand what's happening to him. We also are still trying to learn what's happening to our son. So it's going to be unfair for me to expect them to keep my son there. My mother owed them, I think, that monthly fee, and they said, no, it's fine, keep it. That's how desperate they were to make sure that he doesn't get. Said, no, keep it. We don't even need a notice or a month or anything. It's fine. We can't handle him anymore.
Mm.
So during that time, then my mother was taking him to Bloemfontein, the Peloneme Hospital, to get evaluated. It was when you diagnosed autism, it's not gonna take a day or a week. It's something that they said normally takes 2 to 3 years back in the days. But then they said, you know what, we can fast track a lot of things. We can make sure he has as many appointments as he can so that he can be evaluated as many times as we can.
Mm.
And luckily, everyone involved, especially in the medical side, who wanted to do everything in their power. I think it was that excitement to say, a small place like Excelsior, we have a child that has autism. Now they are going to learn how to deal with these kids so that in future, when they are kids of similar traits, then they know what to do. So they took it upon themselves to, I applaud everyone that was involved. They did everything in their power. And although it was hard for my mother, because I remember at some stage, she told me that, in the rural areas, they will say, we only book 5 people to use an ambulance from Excelsior to Bloemfontein for free, because it's free. Government actually does sponsor almost everything that side. So my son, because he was doing so many appointments, at some point, he used to be booked in for an appointment and he can't get space from the ambulance. So my mother told me that at some point she needed to take a hike to Bloemfontein. And at that time, my mother is epileptic. It's taking the grandson to Bloemfontein. From Excelsior to Bloemfontein is like 2 to 3 hours drive. So she went and looked for a hike. Excelsior is not a place where you'll get transport very easily. So, but she had that belief and patience, and God was always on her side because she used to get those hikes. I know I've been there looking for a hike. You will stay there from morning until afternoon without anything. Come back the next day. But for her, she used to be like, and get that transport to get there. Some of the hardships was that, I remember she told me a story when she had to carry him from her back because the boy didn't want to walk. Was very tired, and it started raining while they were waiting for transport. It's that sad moment that you think, you know what, my mother went through a lot with me, and now the same thing is happening with my son. It was very painful. But I can tell you the good thing is that within 9 months we had a diagnosis. We could now bring the boy back home, because I've always believed in that. When I started, I did say I believe that a child used to be raised by both parents. I am not the type of person that will take my child to be raised by the grandparents and all that. I wanted to do everything myself because I grew up without feeling that love that having both parents. So that environment, I was not aware of it. I didn't know how it feels. So I wanted my kids to have that feeling to say, my father is here for me, my mother is here for me. So both parents were there. So the child came back to Joburg. We started looking for a school. Lucky for us, we found a school in Randbeck. It's called Randbeck Clinic School.
Randbeck
Clinic School. Yeah, that school is, I can literally say it saved our lives as a family.
in what way?
My child got there, and then he could already feel at home. I was comfortable enough to leave him there for the entire day, for someone else to take care of him, because I've never been comfortable considering his condition to actually leave him with anyone else. But he went to a school, and first thing they did the evaluations, He was passing, acing everything. He wanted to play. He loved the yard. The environment was just welcoming for him. And since then, he's been there. He's turning 17 in January. And he's still at Randbeck School. And he's developed to such an independent boy that he can make himself breakfast. We are even comfortable to leave him with a little sister to make sure that they are actually being taken care of. I know I can go to the mall and come back. He'll be there at home, making sure that the little sister plays whatever games she wants to play. She's taken care of. She has managed to get food and everything. Even when there's danger, he's there. He will say, there's cars outside, start pulling the sister. Put him inside the house and lock the house. That's the type of person that he is now. And it's different from what we thought he would be, considering what we read about autism all this time.
It's over a year since we started the channel Tea with Botha. It has been an amazing journey. It contributed to amazing. There are 3 important things that you can do. One of them, important one, the first one is subscribe. If you subscribe, you're actually sending a message to YouTube that what you are doing is important, is valuable. The second that you should do is, whilst you are watching this video, press the like. Very important. Thirdly, is also important is this video, as you like it, as you subscribe, you also share with friends, family, and colleagues. What grade is he now?
So with regards to autism, the schools, they don't actually have grades. So there's different schools when it comes to autism. There are those that actually don't have grades. They teach you based on your understanding and your ability.
Okay.
So the curriculum is not based on what the school wants. It's based on the capability of the child.
Okay.
So your child can be doing, let's say, grade 6 maths, but then doing grade 2 English. So that's how they balance. So they teach your child according to what he can do and what he's capable of. If he's strong in something, then they will actually push the ante and give him certain things that are a bit more difficult or complex for him to actually challenge him as well. Because, these kids, they are so sharp that at times when things get boring, they start getting frustrated. So I can tell you that school is a blessing to myself and Randbeck Clean School and they've been a blessing to more parents, and they actually went above and beyond because they are one of the schools that are working with us on a regular basis to help us push the movement of fathers of children with neurodiversity.
In fact, whenever you are talking about fathers of children living with neurodiversity, why fathers?
The stigma that you spoke about during your intro, fathers have always known to be absent parents. They've always known to be deadbeat fathers. And
Yes.
there are complications that fathers don't, because we don't, unlike our other gender, the women, the ladies, they speak their mind most of the time. So you always get to hear their story. You never get to hear their father's side because we are quiet. We keep things quiet. We allow things to happen to say, you know what, we are taught that kids are raised by their mothers. So even where our rights are not being upheld, we don't fight that much to actually ensure that we are recognized as fathers. So we've always allowed the women to actually take the front seat. However, we have realized that with kids such as the ones that we have, they need a stable family. They need a father figure. A 16-year-old boy with autism, the mother at times doesn't understand the body of a boy. That's where the father...
In the development?
The development, yeah. There's certain traits that the son will develop that a mother would not understand. Others will, but they won't understand it the same way that a father would. So we thought, okay, let us change the narrative. Let us make sure that we build a home for those fathers that are there for their kids. And let us build a picture for the fathers that are not there to see how a picture of a son that has their parent in their life, or a daughter that has a father in their life, how their lives are being built. Maybe they might actually get something that will kick them at the back to say, please go back to your family, go take care of your child. Sometimes the parents have such complications that they can never get back to each other, but now the law allows us to be involved in our kids' lives. without having been married to the parent. And when we actually thought of this, it was the brainchild of one of the ladies that works at the Department of Education,
What you
Dr.
thought of what?
When we thought of the fathers, to say, how do we ensure that we accommodate everyone? Because I'm a chairperson of the SGB at Randbeck Clean School.
Which chairperson of the same, where there's
the same school.
What's the boy's name?
Albakwe.
Aubawe.
Yes.
Aubawe Mudimu.
Yes.
Aubawe.
Yeah.
Praise.
Yeah.
Okay. Aubawe.
Albakwe, yeah.
So you're the chairperson of
The school governing body.
But let's go back and sit for a while. And so were there specific challenges that in particular were peculiar to fathers that you thought, Ed, you know what, there is some gap here, but can only you touched on it.
Yeah.
Okay, to say no.
Okay. So just to go deeper into this thing, you realize how mentally it affects the fathers. Because like I said, men are always quiet. They are known to be quiet. They don't share their feelings. Even when they are hurt, you will see. So we took that thing too far. Whereby you have a child with autism, you are hurt. Because as a father, when your child is born, especially as a boy, you are thinking the next Dr. Kumalo, the next Steve Lukulia, the next one. If you're a football lover, you see a next Kayakon. If you are a rugby player, you see the next year police. Then you are one day told that this child has autism. They won't be able to.
Maybe that you are not saying that you've seen the next Donald Trump.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, Adjune may not like to. He's one of the he loves.
He loves the
Donald Trump, but
ideology.
But that's a discussion one.
Yes. Okay. So when it came to that, we understand
that there is you look at it and say that this is how I wish that my child.
Yes. You see, for me it was even worse because, like I said, my son grew up with this cousin, almost similar age. This boy is developing. He's playing rugby. He's a superstar now. My son, I know, is sharp, but we have to take care of him more than him shining out there.
And we live in a competitive.
And we live, You know, as a father, you always want to be, when you're sitting there to say, my son, this, you hear about those derbies, this school playing against that school. You wish you were there, your son wearing a blazer, being a prefect. Physically being there, but those things are not happening. So how?
So you wanted to deal with the stigma.
I wanted to deal with
that. For fathers just being deadbeats, being ATMs.
Also the mental, I think it actually is something that is heavy on them. Whether it's emotionally and mentally, the fathers have been struggling with regards to this thing. So we wanted to give them a home where we can have a man cave, where we can share the same feelings. I'm able to tell them, this is how I feel. And because he's a father, he will understand better. But it's not going to work all the time. So during the beginning of this organization, we took it lightly. Fathers of children with neurodiversity. When it first started, it was organization for the fathers. We were excited to say something new, a new project.
How did you get it? Or how did you know about?
I'm a father, and my son attends a school of children with neurodiversity. So there's a lot of fathers there.
Do they come?
They come.
So it's not true that they're not involved.
The fathers are there. The fathers are there.
Let me be specific. Are these black men?
Black men, like you and I. The black men are there, and they are proud of their
children living with neurodiversity.
They take their kids to school. They come fetch them after school. They come to school meetings. They participate when they say fun day. The fathers are there.
So it's not true.
It's not true.
So you see them, but they are there.
We wanted to shine the light on that, to say the fathers are there. We just not as vocal about it as the mothers are. And when we started, we had the fathers there. Because it's Randbeck Clean School, we just called a coffee session to say coffee for fathers. And then they came, then we sold the concept. They came. They came in numbers. We told them the idea, and the principal of Randbeck Clean School was at the forefront of explaining the importance of having fathers, because we felt it was important for him to be the one telling that story, because he's the principal, so he's the father of our children at the school. So Mr. Bachelor, Ronald Bachelor, is the principal at can't be in school. He's the one that was sharing some of the challenges that he's having with absent fathers.
Oh, so this is somehow the gap. He picked up that gap.
Yes,
Absent father.
absent fathers, to say there are certain things that we need to discuss at a certain age with these kids, but the fathers at times are not there. Some of you are here dropping kids and coming back, but when we call and say there's something with your child, sometimes you're not there. The mother has to come, and it has to do with the boy. We need to discuss certain things with you guys. So he was even talking to those that are present to say you need to do more. And those that are not there, he said, call your friend that has a child with autism. We know our kids. We know other children with neurodiversity. You know that lady has a child and you know the father. But as fathers, we never talk to the other guy to say, my guy, we understand some of the challenges that you are having. But here's a home called Fathers of Children with Neurodiversity. We can talk to us. We can do everything in our power to ensure that you feel supported. And it was so painful to say the first 3 months after we started the organization, one of the no, the organization, Lehota, we're going to come to that because it's a new concept that
These are two different.
yeah, Lehota is something different that we actually came up with. So we had a father that lost his life. I can say took his life.
Oh, he committed
Suicide.
his own life.
Yeah, he took his own life, and it was very challenging. It was very hurtful to realize how did this thing.
Even with
He had a child living neurodiversity, and he had just joined the organization, and we had started talking, me and him, to explain to him the importance of that. And then he was saying, you know what, I'm one of the leaders within our community. However, I'm struggling with my child. And then he started giving me a breakdown of some of the challenges that you are saying.
Well, what were those? What was he struggling with? I mean, there could be fathers listening to us who are having children with neurodiversity. And he's struggling. What are those struggles? What are their challenges?
See,
what did he say to you?
It's a lot of challenges. There's the financial aspect of it. Raising a child with autism is not easy. Very expensive. The medication alone, it's out of, I don't know, if some of us, we have good jobs, but if you can check the standard of life that we are living compared to the earnings that we are getting at our employment places, it's different. Our peers are actually way far with regards to their life compared to us because we are making sure that our kids have that financial security. We are doing everything in our power to make sure they have the medication. We take them to therapists. We take them to these places that are costing us a lot. And part of the things that it was the mental health, the challenges, like I explained to you, that it was very difficult to understand that you won't be going to those rugby games. You won't be going to those football games to watch your son doing what you wanted to do as a child, or maybe you had limitations because you couldn't afford soccer boots and all these things. Now I think I can afford that, my son will be able to play soccer. But now you can't do those things. Because what? Because of autism or neurodiversity or neurodevelopmental challenge that the child has. And it's those challenges that come with this thing because you're also needed there physically more than anyone else. Whenever your child has a meltdown, you have to be available for that. You have to be available for the mother to assist, especially when it's a boy, because you understand the boy better. Plus, I think it comes natural. We love our kids. The fact that we love our kids.
He was going to
finance. Yeah, it's finance, it's mental health, it's everything. The stigma that comes with children with neurodiversity. You can go to a mall right now with your child and they have a meltdown. Some parents will look at
what did that involve? What did that?
Like my son, he likes spinning, and sometimes he just gets, it's like he's clinging onto something, and there are certain traits that they have. But there are those that are worse. They start crying, they start biting themselves, people say they start throwing tantrums. And for the other people, it's tantrums. For us, it's a meltdown because we understand if this child did not have autism, they would not be having these things. And you would see someone passing by and say, "Ngwanolo sto, tuwale sama shape." Because people don't know. We might say that people are cruel and all that, but they are not educated.
So these are the challenges that as fathers of children with neurodiversity are faced with.
They are faced with.
What do you do if you hear a Mboisedo saying, but you know, how na control wela? You have no discipline. How kgalemele ngwana?
I'm dealing with a child that is having a meltdown. That's my priority. My priority is that child. So one thing that is important for me is to ensure that I give attention to my son that is having a meltdown at the time. Whoever that is saying whatever is not of importance to me at that time. Yes, I know I'm doing such work, like making sure that I educate people about autism. That is where I will touch that person. They will see this podcast one day and they will think I'm one of those people that were judging these kids. We've had such confessions where someone was saying, you know what, I'm glad I met you. I didn't understand these kids. And I think my neighbor has a child with autism, but they are looking the child at home. They are not allowing them to go anywhere. They don't want anyone to see this child. And those are some of the things you start hearing people telling you stories. And what do? You give them advice to say, no. He's a good neighbor. Talk to them, say, take the child to the clinic, let them evaluate the child. And that is very important for us as part of what we do to actually make sure that people know as much as we can about neurodiversity. And like I said in the beginning, it was very important that this idea came from a woman to have this organization.
Fathers involved.
Fathers of Children in Neurodiversity is an idea of one of the ladies from the Department of Education. Her name is Dr. Nushin. She's an educational psychologist at the Department of Education. And she's the one that said, Paseka, some of the issues that you guys are facing, I think one of the things that you need to do is that to have an organization for the fathers.
And your organization, you also work with children with special needs. I mean, the LCs, the schools.
Yeah.
What do you do there?
Okay, this is where Lekgotla comes in. So we thought of an idea to say, this running an organization as an NPO, it involves a lot of money. There's transport involved, there's food, there's everything that is involved. And for us as fathers of children in Neurodiversity, we have our own 9-to-5 jobs. We do this on Saturdays and after work. So we thought, okay, we can't reach as many parents as we like. What's the best way of doing it? We thought, okay, let's look at different regions within Gauteng. We wanted to start in Gauteng. To say, let's look at different regions and have some sort of a conference in that region. We call schools in that area, we group them together, we have an event and call all different specialists to come and help us to actually do a lot of awareness. And we thought, okay, awareness without education is not enough. So what is it that we can do? Then we thought of the concept called Lekgotla. Lekgotla helps us to group the schools together and called on different departments to help us. So we thought, okay, most of the children that have autism, they qualify for SASA because it's a disability. But I'm coming from Free State. I've seen children that have been raised there. They are raised by their grandparents. Those grandparents are not educated about such things. How do we educate them? Let's bring people from SASA to come tell them who qualifies for SASA. How do you qualify for SASA? What do you need to do? What documents are needed? Then after that, we allow a Q&A session during the same event where maybe someone will have a different scenario and ask the person that is specializing from SASA to say, this is my scenario. What do I need to do? They can get an answer there and then. Some of the information you get from these people is information that you might never get from Google. Because you Google certain things and Google will read its own thing and come with their own concept or give you a different answer from what you're looking for. But even if you ask a question and someone doesn't answer it the way you want it, they can give you more detail, they can give you more meat from that. Because this person is a specialist in this subject and is there to assist you. Then we called people from people that do tax returns to say, we do actually qualify for a certain benefit for tax returns. And how do we qualify? What do I need to do to qualify? Those are the things. So we call someone that deals with that. Then we had Dr. Nushin from the Department of Education to say, as the department, what are we doing? Because it's very important. People will think that the government is not doing anything. So the government needs to get a platform where they can tell us how are they assisting us.
Is government doing something?
They are. Every day there's something that is...
To think? and you talk more. When you say it does a lot of things, you say.
Yeah.
I want you to also think about other policy. Are you satisfied where we are? I mean, the Hotla fathers involved with issues around policy. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied? A lot needs to be done. But tell us more. When you say they're doing a lot, what does that mean?
So I will talk like a layman person, your everyday person that is always on the ground. So I won't go too much into policies because I want people that specialize in those things to actually, they learn it to actually read and see if this is balancing. But for me, I'm talking as a parent that is benefiting from the system that currently exists. When I started, I did say that it used to take a year or 3 years to get a diagnosis. Now it's taking 6 months to a year to get a diagnosis. And then these things are done for free. The government is doing those things for us. As much as it's not monetary value, but those that are paying for it will tell you how hard it hits their pocket to get that child evaluated and diagnosed with these conditions. So someone that is currently paying for their own evaluation and someone that's getting it for free will tell you two different stories. So our government has made sure that we have people like Dr. Nushin. Our government has allowed us to actually, a normal you and I, to be able to speak to professors. We have a professor that is very dedicated to this neurodiversity topic. His name is Professor Maximus Sefoto. This gentleman has dedicated his life to ensuring that people that have kids with neurodiversity, they have a voice first day. They do get information that is required in the manner that we need it to. He simplifies the information for accessible. UJ has a center for neurodiversity. Professor Sefoto is the director of that center. If I have an issue now, I can call the center and give them my problem, and if they can help me, they will tell me this is what you need to do. If they can't, they will look for that information and make sure that I have the information that I need. And if there's something that they can do themselves, they will make sure that you get that help that you need. And this is something that most people are not aware of. But Professor Sefoto has been to almost all the events that we've had.
So Johannesburg, University of Johannesburg has a center managed by the director is Professor
Sefoto, yes.
So there are people, both men and women, listening out there. What does the center do?
So the center deals with research for neurodiversity. They also send out articles. They publish articles. They ensure that they also work with our communities, because I know that it works with some of the schools within some. So if you can check where the center is, it was a strategic move to make sure that the center is in the heart of our community. The center is at the campus in Soweto campus. That's where the center. Yes. So that is the strategic move, to ensure that it's also next to Bawagana, it's next to all these places. It's accessible to the people that need it the most. They have a campus there in Auckland Park. They could have taken it there. They have enough facilities there and space. But then they fought for space at the campus in Soweto to ensure that this is recognized. And I can tell you, they are going above and beyond. The dean, Professor Rampedi.
Yes. Yeah, you newly elected.
Yes,
the dean.
Yes,
Rampedi, Professor Rampedi.
Very dedicated. Supported us through all these things. So what he did is that I remember when we had that father that took his own life.
You spoke about him.
Yes, they usually just wanted to do something to support the parents. Not just by talking to us, but by doing something physically to ensure that we do get that support. They took us to a UJ Island. They offered
UJ Island.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the Val. They took all of us to say, okay, members of FCN, here's an opportunity. Just
say that in full. Those that are not initiated. That's fathers. That's F.
Fathers of children.
I see your T-shirt.
Yes. It's fathers of children with neurodiversity. FCN. So S is for fathers, C is for children, and then N is for neurodiversity.
And I love the emblem.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. the brainchild of some of the.
Pity they did not bring some t-shirts for Hetile, Namtra, myself. You didn't. Yeah.
This is our home in that day. We are still gonna come back. Yeah, we'll be bringing.
Jesus Christ and brings a photo.
We must support. That's what I was going to say. That next time I must come with Professor Sofuto and Dr. Machine. Those people are very important to FCN, as everyone plays their own role in a way that I don't think we could have been where we are today if it wasn't for them. So what I was trying to say was that.
No, I'm just to say, women, that I'm happy that we're talking about this. But by the way, I mean, University of Johannesburg, these are public institutions.
Yes.
And I'm happy we're talking about it in the midst of, I mean, we are having huge problems in this country of inequality, but huge problems of corruption. And I'm happy that you say there is this, there's this beauty that the government does in the midst of all of this. I think can do more. So you're saying that, I mean, that center does this phenomenon, and which brings me to so it's not only public institutions. You recently you received some support from SALA.
Yes.
Tell us more about it. One of your colleagues, who is, by the way, you are accompanied by two people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Who are they? They're part of us.
Yes, they are part of us. So I brought in some of the members of my executive of FCN. So we built an executive so that we can be accountable for everything that we do. Everything that we do within FCN has a structure. There's people that actually do marketing. We have the face of FCN. We have people that actually do all sorts of things. We have our secretary who I call the engine of the organization. We do a lot, and I brought with myself today with Mr. Paseka Lekale. He's also part of the executive together with
What does Paseka do?
He's actually in the marketing. He's one of the marketing guys within the organization.
He's the one who brought in SALA.
No, the Sanlam is still coming. So Mr. Onkgopote is our secretary. He's the one that does everything. He's the one that you're talking to via emails. He's the one that set up the entire conversation that we're having today. Thanks to him, thanks to him. And when we come to the Sanlam part, it's actually something that is done by, I'm employed by Santam.
That is Santam and SALA.
There's Sanlam and Santam. So
you work for Santam.
I work for Santam. So Santam, during Mandela Day, they offer organization
in July.
Yes.
This is the 18th of July.
Yes. So during that time, then we are able to submit. You submit documents and whatever proof of concept to say, I need support for this organization. It doesn't have to be an organization that you are part of. It's an organization that you are aware of the good work they're doing out there. So the last year, we got an organization in Pretoria to actually get funding from Santam for this Mandela Day. And this year, I had my own baby. I had FCN, so I thought, okay, I believe in this organization and the work that we do. Let us take it to the corporate world and let them take it under scrutiny, because once you send your documentation there, they will double check everything. So I took all the documents there with the help of my executives. I have to thank Mr. Sileka for organizing the whole package for me. I sent it to Santam, and Santam found FCN to be one of those organizations that was deserving of getting this funding. So they gave us some funding for Mandela Day. This was for them to say, we recognize you as an organization and the work that you're doing. And this is the little we can give you to push more on the concept that you currently have. And we've been very appreciative of that. And recently I got, last week I was actually in Cape Town for the awards, the Santam CEO Awards. So there I got nominated for doing community work. So yes, so I got nominated for that.
Was it specifically for the work you do with fathers, with children with neurodiversity?
In general, they don't actually check which organization, or they just say what is. So I was voted by my colleagues. Actually, I was nominated by my colleagues, and they understood the type of work that I do, because at times these events, government events and these private sector events, they happen during the week. So you have to ask for a day off. And you always have to put in, this is where I'm going. This is what I'll be doing. I'm not going to be sitting at home. I'm going to be attending an event. I'm going to be speaking at this event, all these things. So they already knew the work that I was doing. And they were appreciating those things. So when the nominations came out, they nominated me for the award. And luckily, I was one of the finalists. Although I didn't win, I was the runner-up. But I love the fact that an organization such as Santam is recognizing the work that we are doing. So not only did they provide us with those funds, they then also recognized the work that was being done by myself and allowed me to be the runner-up for that award, which I really appreciate.
And
And
once again, congratulations. And tell me, so there's a need that a private sector
yes,
to get involved. Once we are saying that government as a duty bearer has a responsibility, but you are saying that there's a lot that private sector they can take cues from what Salam has done.
yes, there's a lot that the government does, but then there's limitations to the funds that they will have, considering how many people are currently unemployed in South Africa, and the economy is not doing so well. But our private sectors are thriving currently. So all we can ask or we can expect from them is to give a helping hand, especially to organizations such as FCN that are doing such a lovely job. And we are not doing this to charging. We don't charge anyone for anything that we do. Someone will call you for help to say, Paseka, this is the challenge I'm having. What do I do? We will call certain people and make sure that these people get help. And we make sure to get that help without even paying a cent. Can you imagine what FCN would be doing if we had proper funding to allow us to, how many lives would be able to reach? Recently, we went to Free State in Velkom. I had this idea.
That's where you come.
That's where I'm from, my hometown. So I always think about home whenever there's a good idea. So we went to Free State for an event such as Lekota, but in this space, we were talking to the parents. I've been having conversations with parents for the last 3 years. By the way, I have I had registered my son's organization called Albakwa Center for Autism. The aim was to ensure that the parents in Free State get the same information that the people in Gauteng are getting. However, I realized,
Foundation still exists.
it does exist. Then, as time goes by, you have to be honest with yourself to say, I can't do this alone. And because I don't have the money to pay anyone to do it with me, then I had to concentrate on things that, and it doesn't help that there's a 9 to 5 this side. You have to work hard to save your energy for certain things. I couldn't travel back and forth to Free State. And I had to actually channel my energy somewhere. And I was happy that then it gave us the best of FCN. Dr. Nushin, when she spoke about FCN and the idea that she had, it just gave me that hope that at least there's work that I can do when it comes to the NGO side of things. And when we went to Free State, we wanted to do a Lekota, but that is with a bit of a twist.
Okay.
The people that are taking care of the kids at home are the grandparents. Because most of those people that have kids there, they come to Joburg looking for a job. So the parents are here working. The kids are at home being taken care of by the grandparents. So the information that we needed to deliver needed to be in such a way that the grandparents are going to be the ones that benefit from this. So it needed to be simplified. It needed to be in a language that the parents would actually the grandparents would also understand it. And that's why we had this event and it was done. Most of the 90% of the speech that were done and the talks that were done, they were done in Sesotho, which is the main language in Free State.
Yeah.
It was something that is very important that I've already said to the guys to say, we need to go to Eastern Cape, have an event about autism in Sikosa. Let's go in North to Northwest, have an event in Setswana. Free State, let's have an event in Sesotho. Let's go to all these places and talk about these things that we talk about every day, but in their own language. A language that can be understood by an everyday person on the street.
So it's empowerment of
Yes. So we managed to deliver that. And that's why I'm saying there are people that are dedicated. The whole team drove to Velkom. None of them were paid to do that. We didn't sponsor any petrol or anything, including the professor that I was telling you about. Professor Sefoto was there. He gave a talk at this event. And people started to appreciate how much work is being done out there to ensure that they get the information that they get. Some of the fathers shared their experiences, their hardmanship that they have to go through. And then they started telling our stories as fathers. We had one of my partner in crime, I call him Kaya Khomotso. He was one of your guests at some point.
In fact, it was her idea that Botha and your team, team with Botha, it is a myth that men are not involved. Tom too, there is an organization. That's when I started talking to your colleague.
Yes.
Yeah. So
she's a friend, and she's a home girl. We both come from Velcom, and we were both in Velcom ensuring that this event that was being done in Sesotho, we were part of that. It's actually, I think it's history made to say that autism is now being spoken about in home languages. That's one thing, that's the path that we're looking to go into, to ensure that the information that we talk about is not just in English, it's understood by even our parents and real parents. Is normally, because you can't just be doing awareness and I don't understand what you're saying. And it doesn't help that we don't have autism in Sesotho. What is autism in Sesotho? We don't know.
what is it?
We don't know.
Or how would you know?
No, Linon's excited. But we are still working towards that.
Yeah. Are there challenges that your organization is faced with?
A lot.
What are those? I mean, there's somebody there who may be a prospective funder. There's a father there who embraces the idea, who does not know, understands what is it living with a child, a son, a daughter with neurodiversity. What are those challenges?
There's a lot of challenges. One of the biggest challenges that we say is participation from the fathers. The fathers love the idea. We have a WhatsApp group of 161 people.
161 people?
Yes.
Are the fathers only?
It's fathers only, with only one lady, Dr. Nishin. So, whenever we're having events...
Is this group, the fathers you're talking about, all black or it's a mix?
It's a mix. We have... There's a guy that we started with and he's white. He was there from day one. He's still there even today. We have a lot of... It's whites, it's Indians, it's black people, it's colored, it's everyone. So whenever we're having these events, you would see fathers are not available to attend. Mostly we'll just say, guys, when is it happening? Then we give them a date. We give them a date maybe 3 months in advance. And then come the event day, then you would see 15 fathers that are there. Then we still do what we need to do. We give them information to say this is how the event went. This is the information that was shared. These were the people that came. These are the challenges that we... And one of the biggest challenges that we then meet during that these events that we're trying to arrange is the finances.
So it's participation of fathers. These are your challenges.
Yes. Finances,
yeah.
And availability.
Availability?
Because remember...
What do you mean?
By availability, I mean the people that are currently running the FCN organization are fathers that are having their full-time jobs. So when they have their full-time jobs, it means they are not always available to manage certain things that they need to do. So if we cannot pay your salary to actually be here full-time, it means we'll only be able to participate maybe after work or on weekends. Instead of getting 100% of your energy, we're getting only 40. And it's not because you don't want to, but you just don't have the time.
If you were to say, what would success mean or to you, to the organization in 5 years? If you sit here and say, look, I look back and say, but this is what could constitute success. What would that be?
For me, success would be to see FCN one day being recognized nationally. We have the ambition of going internationally due to some of the connections that we have. We are working with...
So you're starting new projects?
We have projects that we are running with certain universities out there, but I'm not sure if I can mention them because some of these things are confidential, but we are working with international universities to deliver some of the projects. Yes, some of them are actually, the paperwork is being done. We are just waiting for certain funding to be done so that we can work together with, because we are doing a lot with the University of Johannesburg through the center. There's a lot of projects that we are doing, which is projects that we work on to ensure that our kids' lives, once they leave the schooling system, then they can be independent, they can run their own things. Like we're now looking at the agriculture, we're looking at ways that our kids can be able to actually manage and be independent and be able to provide a living for themselves. So that is very important for us, to see our kids one day being able to maybe go to work and come back having earned their living and bringing something on the table, doing something for themselves.
So there are those projects.
There are those projects that we.
So let's respect the confidentiality. I mean, with the passage of time,
Yes.
would get to know about.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me, Paseka, there is a father out there who may be going through deep challenges, may not understand what's going on. Just one piece of advice you'd say to this man, what would it be?
For me, it would be find a friend, talk to someone.
Find a friend.
Find a friend, talk to someone. Because one thing I've realized that has made me to survive is because I'm always outspoken. So a lot of challenges that I have, I talk to people about them. And that's how we get to solutions. Because one of the biggest challenges that we had with this father that took his own life was that he had mentioned that, you know what, at times we get isolated, that you don't have anyone to talk to. So we need to create a space for those people to be able to talk to other people and share how they feel. So you're not going to talk to a stranger. I'm not going to say to the parent out there to say, talk to Paseka. Paseka will help you here and there. I have to be honest about it. People create a relationship. We must have that relationship. We must be able to know each other a bit so that you can start opening up about certain challenges, certain things that are confidential. So the easiest thing would be, which is immediate, talk to a friend. As friends, we talk about everything else. We go out, we groove, we talk about everything else, fun, soccer, and why not talk about the challenges that you are having
As fathers.
And that's the problem that we fathers have. We love painting this picture of a perfect family picture. Family picture where everything is going okay. Everything is perfect. I have a good job. I've got a beautiful wife. I've got good kids. But deep down inside, you are dying inside.
You are hating.
You are hating.
But you have to live up to this concept that Monna Kim
Guhal. Because I can give examples of a minor thing that you would actually not, you would not even know that it's happening to these people, is that some of them, they don't even take their kids to see their cousins. We don't go to family gatherings with our kids. Whenever they have, because you go to a family gathering, no one else understands your child. It's like Joe wana Paseka balti. Yo otamona. It's those things. No, now you have to be making sure my child doesn't have coke because it's going to be hyper. You need to allow your child to have fun. They drink coke, they are hyper. No one wants your child there anymore. The next time there's events going on, people are whispering that there's an event somewhere. You're not being told about it because your child is actually not welcome. You go to a restaurant. We have to sit by the corner. First thing you have to do, you have to go sit by the corner. It's safe to sit by the corner. Because if you sit in the middle, your child has a meltdown in the middle of a restaurant. People are come there. They spend money to have place where they can be out of their homes, where they can relax, to not even worry about anything else. And here's your child having a meltdown in the middle of a restaurant. The restaurant is a place that is there for business. They're not going to tolerate your child having that meltdown in the middle because the customers will leave because the place will be rowdy.
So which also brings me to, you are the chairperson of the Randburg Clinic School of the SGB.
Yes, I'm the chairperson, current chairperson.
Current chairperson. How long have you been the chairperson there?
It's my first year now. I've got 2 years to go, yes.
Years to go. Has that helped you to improve your perspective on as a father raising a child, living with neurodiversity? Has that helped you?
So I've always liked to be involved. I've
But
been
you're an activist.
I've always wanted to be the boots, or when they literally talk about boots on the ground, that's what I've always done. So I've always been part of the
The boots on the ground.
yes. I've had
You are them corners.
yeah
You're the corners here. Boots on the ground. The wrong corners.
yeah I do know
Yeah, you do.
the general.
On the ground, the general.
the general.
Kids are dead.
Yes,
Yeah. Others are shaking in their boots.
yes.
So,
Not
when you mention the name corners, people shake, but you're saying your boots are on the ground.
yes. My boots are on the ground, and
Others are shaking in their boots. And they hear corner.
yeah. So what I did is that for I think for 9 years I've been part of the SGB. I've been part of the SGB because I wanted to be involved in ensuring that the future of my child is not going to be destroyed by decision making that doesn't think of the parent.
Yeah. Or it's left to someone else.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also because as a parent that wants to be involved, you want to be there for the school, because you would attend school meetings and you would hear the principal struggling to say we are struggling with this and that and that. And at times he doesn't have solutions. So I'm not the type of person that will be sitting at the back criticizing or giving one idea during AGM at the end of the year, and then I'm missing the entire year. The next year I'm questioning, was this done? So I prefer to say, I have an idea, let me go there and present my
Don't
ideas.
like being an armchair critic.
Yes. I want to be the one that actually comes with an idea, and I make sure that it comes to birth. That child that was just an idea is now born. And certain things are happening, and that's what that's how I've lived my life, to ensure that whenever I have an idea, I will be the one in the front to say I'm willing to do this. Even when FCN started, we had an interim team that needed to be voted to say who's going to lead them until we get to decide the chairperson and the entire executive. I raised my hand again. I said, I'm willing to stand by while we're still organizing this thing. I will just do the groundwork and make sure that we organize until we get to have an executive that can vote for their chairperson. And that's the type of...
That's what you call, you are an advocate.
Yes.
You are an activist. Get involved. That's what to say.
Yes.
How do they get involved? I mean, tell us. I mean, he's listening, this man says, you know what? I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what's happening. He may be going through what that man who took his own life is going through. How do they get hold of your organization?
So we have an email address. It's info@fcn.org.za.
Let's say that again. We're going to get it at the end, but you're saying?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that I don't get it wrong, because they always say this is one thing that I get wrong all the time. It's
The same as my introduction here.
yeah.
See, you're the only person who I have two people in my life who traumatizes me. That's Hetile and Andile about they must be proper.
Yeah.
My introduction must be proper.
Yeah, the introduction needs to be on point.
Now we know what I said there. I'm not joining the club.
Yeah.
I'm not the one who's traumatized in every week. Okay. Not the club for all. Thank you. Paseka, man.
I'm having tea with Botha. So what are you going to do?
We're sipping.
We are sipping.
Are you on Facebook?
We are also on. So I will be honest. Like I said, we do have Facebook, we do have LinkedIn. However, we are not so active on those social media as we are supposed to. Like we are saying, most of the things that I've mentioned that we are doing, some of them are not even there. Because like I explained to you that it's this thing to say these guys have 9 to 5 and to juggle in between their projects and FCN, it's not easy. So at times I can be harsh and complain, but then at times they can say, but Paseka, you can also do it from your side. And my talent is, like I said, my talent is to be the man on the ground. And there are people that are talented. Like you said, you have a team behind you.
There's just, you see what it's, yeah, it's another thing.
It's an amazing team. I also have an amazing team behind me.
or another country.
Yeah. No, my team is amazing. My team is amazing, and the unfortunate thing is that, like I said, it's time most of the time. They don't get time to do so. They love FC, and you can see when they have events, they sacrifice a lot to be there all the time. But when it comes to certain things, doing the admin and other things, it becomes a bit of a challenge to say attend an event and then draft a document to ensure that the parents can see the picture of what just happened. We are working on that, and I can promise that by next year everything will be up to date.
Well,
We are having our executive meeting very soon, and the guys have actually said that we need to align certain things that are not aligning. Like every child that is born, you have to change things here and there, tweak it here and there until it becomes a perfect project. And we are still getting there because FCN is a year old this year.
and congratulations.
Thank you very much for that.
Paseka, thank you so much for availing yourself. And what the work that you're doing, it's unconventional. It's unorthodox. And I want to say to you as a dad at home watching and sharing this and subscribing to our channel, I want you to say to you that this was a process of demystifying the notion that parents, or fathers in particular, are upset, that fathers are deadbeat. This was an effort to, in fact, showcase that there are these stories out there. There are these men, unpaid, who go out of their way, who make sure that they are part and parcel at all levels of their of their own sons and their daughters, that they don't leave it to someone else. I hope you have been able to join us, to drink tea with us, but also you have been able to be empowered, that there is help out there, that you now know that the University of Johannesburg has a center dedicated. You now know that there are men out there who will not fold their arms. There are men out there who will not look the other way. There are men out there who would say, I am part of this. This is my son. This is my daughter. And at the end of the show, we would be able to get these numbers to you, and hopefully you will stand up and not fold your arms and not lament and not be in that corner, but you would know that I'm going to be part and parcel of raising my child who has a particular challenges, especially with neurodiversity. Thank you for joining us. Please never forget to continue to share, to continue to subscribe, because when you subscribe, when you share this, you're sending a message to to the world out there that we need such unconventional, unorthodox topics. Thank you once again for being part of Sipping Tea with us. Paseka, thank you, Dad.
Thank you very much, and that.
Thank you.
This is Tea with Botha.